Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. Today we are looking into tree society.
Oh, very cool.
This one's going to be pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah.
So for this one, we're going straight to the source,
Okay.
the Asmodee North America website, to really give you the information you need to decide if this is something you want to pick up.
All right.
So right off the bat, they're really selling this eco-friendly and beautiful components angle.
Yeah, they're really leaning into that. It seems like they're trying to cultivate a specific image with this game.
Yeah.
Definitely seems like it would appeal to people who enjoy beautiful games as much as they enjoy fun games.
For sure, for sure. So moving into the actual gameplay,
Yeah.
it seems like we've got a blend of cooperation and competition happening here.
Right.
So you're working together to expand this tree society, but ultimately only one player can be victorious. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that kind of makes it a great gateway game.
Okay.
You know, it eases new players into the strategy
Yeah,
without being overly cutthroat.
right.
But it can be a fun challenge for more experienced players too.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. They also keep mentioning this innovative market system. And I'm picturing like this bustling hub where players are trading fruit and coins. Like, what do you think? Is this going to be like Catan or something completely different?
Oh, that's a good question. It's really hard to tell from the description.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting that they mention a double-sided market board. So maybe that means there will be some variability, from game to game.
Maybe like a random element.
Yeah, exactly. That could really change things up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which would really add to the replayability.
For sure.
And speaking of replayability, they mentioned these guild cards.
Yes.
What kind of strategic depth do you think those could add?
Well, it seems like each guild has unique abilities and resources. So, that could lead to some interesting choices. Do you go for certain types of fruit that will, benefit your guild? Or
Yeah.
do you try to block other players from getting what they need?
It makes me think about how different player counts might affect the strategy too. Oh, absolutely.
Like with 2 players, maybe it's more head-to-head.
Right.
But with more players, you might need to form alliances to get ahead.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm also wondering how the actions are structured.
Oh, interesting.
The website doesn't say, but is it like you take turns
Yeah.
or is it simultaneous action?
Oh, that would be very interesting.
Yeah, that could make it very unpredictable.
I love those games where you really have to think ahead and anticipate what other players are going to do.
Right.
It sounds like Tree Society could have some of those exciting aha moments.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
As the market shifts and players reveal their strategies.
Yeah, let's talk about the artwork.
Yes.
Because they're promising some breathtaking visuals here.
Yeah.
So do we think it's going to be realistic depictions of forests or something more whimsical and fantastical?
I'm kind of hoping for a bit of both.
Me too. I want those lush landscapes, but then also fantastical treetop dwellings and all these characters that represent the different guilds. Yeah, and don't forget they're emphasizing the eco-friendly aspect.
Right.
So that means they're being mindful of the materials in the production.
Yes, definitely a good thing.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got this really interesting mix of cooperation and competition.
Right.
A potentially dynamic market system.
Yeah.
And these beautifully crafted components. But what about the target audience?
Yeah.
They call it a gateway game, but also say it appeals to experienced gamers.
Yeah.
So how do we reconcile those two things?
Yeah, that is a tough one. I mean, a good gateway game has to walk a fine line,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It needs to be engaging for seasoned gamers, but not overwhelming for newcomers. I think of it kind of like the first level of a video game. You're learning the basic mechanics, but there are still opportunities for you to, show off your skills.
This is less about dumbing things down and more about creating an accessible entry point
Exactly.
that can still lead to some pretty deep strategy.
Yes. And that's where I think the guild cards and the market system could really shine.
Yeah.
The basic rules might be simple, but mastering those strategic elements could take a lot of playthroughs.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It really does seem like they're aiming for that sweet spot. A game that anyone can enjoy,
Yeah.
regardless of experience.
It makes me think about something else they mentioned. It says this is for ages 8 and up,
Oh, right.
which means they're really trying to make this family friendly.
Yeah.
So do we think younger players will be able to grasp the nuances? Or is it more about just enjoying the theme and like the cooperative elements?
I mean, it always depends on the kid, right?
Yeah.
But the core mechanics sound simple enough.
Right.
You know, you're collecting resources, you're trading, you're building. I think those are concepts kids can grasp pretty easily.
So maybe younger players can focus on those more immediate goals,
Yeah,
while us adults are over here plotting our long-term strategies
exactly.
with the guild cards and the market and all that.
Yeah, and you know, even if younger players aren't like fully understanding the market, they're still contributing to that shared goal
Right.
of expanding the tree society.
Yeah. And you know those illustrations.
Oh yeah,
It's got to be appealing to all ages.
definitely. You know, that strong visual theme can really add to the experience.
Yeah, for sure.
And if they can pull off that whimsy you were talking about, you know, that blend of realism and fantasy,
Yeah.
I think it could be really special.
Oh, for sure. Okay, so they list the average playtime is 45 minutes,
Okay.
which honestly to me, that's the sweet spot.
Not too short, not too long.
Right. Like perfect for family game night.
Exactly. Or even like a quick game with friends after dinner.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So let's talk about those components a little bit more. They list things like guild cards, fruit cards, tree markers, double-sided market board. What do we think all that means for gameplay?
Wait, you know, you were talking about the guilds earlier.
Yeah.
I wonder if some guilds are better at certain things. Like maybe acquiring specific types of resources.
Right.
While others excel at building. Or maybe they have abilities that can affect the market.
Well, that's a cool idea. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it adds like a layer of asymmetry to the game.
Yeah, where each player has a slightly different path to victory.
Exactly. And then the fruit cards?
Yeah, what about those?
You know, they're probably more than just tokens. I'm thinking they represent different resources you need.
Okay,
And maybe some buildings require specific combinations of fruit.
interesting. So you have to make some tough choices.
Yeah, exactly. Like what to collect, what to trade.
Okay, and what about the tree markers? What if those are the actual buildings
Oh, that's a good thought.
being constructed?
Yeah, and maybe they go on like a shared game board
Uh-huh.
to show how the tree society is expanding.
Right, and there could even be like strategic benefits
Oh, for sure.
to building in certain spots.
Absolutely. Like another layer of spatial thinking.
Okay, I'm really starting to get the picture now.
Yeah.
It's all coming together.
It-
You got guilds with unique abilities.
Yeah.
A market where everyone's bartering.
Right.
And then this goal of building this amazing tree society.
Don't get too excited yet.
Oh, right.
We're still working with limited information here.
Too true.
But it's definitely promising,
Yeah.
especially if that market system is as innovative as they say.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But even if some of our ideas are a little off,
Right.
the core concepts are just really solid.
I agree. The cooperation and competition, the strategy, the visuals, it could be a real hit.
And that eco-friendly production too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's great to see a company thinking about that.
It aligns really well with the theme, too.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's not just about building a society.
Right.
It's about doing it in a way that works with nature.
Yeah, exactly.
So for you, the listener, what does all this mean? Is Tree Society something you want for your collection?
Yeah.
We've gone through the website, looked at the components,
Yeah.
made some guesses about the gameplay.
Yep.
But now it's time to take it a step further. Okay, so we've talked mechanics, we've talked components, but what about the feel of the game?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the website uses words like enchanting whimsical.
Right.
Does it really live up to that?
I think that's kind of up to the player.
Okay.
You know, a game is more than just rules and pieces.
Yeah.
It's about the experience you create at the table.
Right.
So think about the stories you can tell as you're playing.
Yeah.
Guiding your guild, making trades.
Right.
Helping this tree society grow.
That's a good point. Like, the website gives us the framework,
Uh-huh.
but we bring it to life.
Yeah.
So maybe my guild is known for its beautiful gardens.
Okay.
Or I'm like a master negotiator in the market.
Right. And all those little stories come together
Yeah.
to make this bigger narrative
Right.
about the tree society.
Like, will it flourish or will everyone just be fighting?
Exactly.
Okay, well, I am definitely curious. This deep dive has got me thinking. I can already picture myself, sitting down with friends, picking my guild,
Right.
getting into that market.
Yeah. It seems like it could be relaxing,
Yeah.
but also challenging.
Like the best of both worlds.
And that's what makes a good gateway game so great.
Yeah,
You know, it opens the door to this whole world of gaming.
it does. So to wrap up our look at Tree Society,
Okay.
here's something to think about. What kind of legacy will you leave in this world? Will you be the shrewd trader, the builder, the cooperative leader?
Good question.
What will your mark on the Tree Society be?
I guess we'll have to play and find out.
That's right. Until next time.